Last time on the Mundane and the Arcane, our three adventurers had been walking through the forest trying to get their way to Zenko's earthen trial. Not really sure where that is, or where they were going, or what that entails. They embarked just after finishing their fight with some wicked owlbears. You made your way through the forest. You met a curious gnome, Nobblestaff, who claimed the forest as his own. Who then pointed you on to apparently your destination. As you got there, you got into a fight with some curious creatures in the forest. You were led into Terralar, which is the location of Zenko's Earth Trial, home to many druids, clerics, and earthy types.
And drug addicts, apparently.
And drug addicts with shrooms.
Earthy is a kind way of saying hippies.
You guys managed to find room and board in exchange for, well, you got some leather in the works in exchange for cleaning, but the owner, Teth, offered you room for the night.
Definitely no boredom.
And you guys fallen asleep. And as you assume a new day rises, as you all just kind of drearily wake up to the same kind of off sunlight that breaks in through the window, what would you like to do?
Zenko's gonna slowly blink in the lightish and get up, get herself all ready to go, mentally and physically prepared for the trial, which includes breakfast.
Okay.
Deke is going to go check and see if Taff has finished his boots.
Okay. You get up and leave the room.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of poke around the house. The house is empty. I mean, Teth's stuff is still there, but Teth does not appear to be home.
Okay. Are the boots around?
You go into like his little tanning workroom. You see that he's started working on the leather, but they're not. And you do not find any boots here.
I want my new boots. I was hoping I'd be a new boot goofing for the for the trial.
New boot goofy.
Gronk is going to get up out of bed and go straight to the bathroom.
Okay. Looking around the house, there's no like plumbing in the house.
Okay.
As you kind of look around, you find that there is a runoff spot built into the back of the house that seems to have a hole bored into it that goes deeper underground.
All right.
And it smells like shit and piss.
I would. Okay.
Welcome to D&D, everyone.
For.
Holes filled with shit and piss.
Okay, yeah, I guess Gronk's going to do his morning business and then head into the rest of the house to see what everybody else is doing. Hopefully, grab some breakfast or something like that.
Okay. Are you guys just eating your rations, or are you raiding Teth stuff? Or,
yeah, I would think we would use our own rations.
Okay.
Yeah, seems fair.
All right. So, I mean, all things considered, being in what could be considered a city, you're having, trail mix. You're having your rations. It's not a wonderful meal, but it's not something you guys aren't accustomed to. Do you guys, after breakfast, decide to head down or run away? Or
Yes.
Okay.
Head down. We're gonna head down.
Okay.
Not gonna run away.
We're gonna head down, ass up.
Okay.
Okay, I feel like I have to ask this. Are there any bookshelves or anything?
In Teth's place?
Yeah.
Give me an investigation check.
That is a 17.
Okay. In the main living area of his house, there aren't any bookshelves. There's no books that seem to be scattered about. The kitchen, no. His workroom, no. Poking your head into his room, you do see a book on the end of this rock shelf next to his bed. And then do you choose to go in and investigate further, or?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. You go into his room and you continue looking around. You see that the book on top, next to his bed, on top of this little rock dresser, you flip through a few of the pages and At first, it takes you a little bit of deciphering to read his handwriting, and you realize it's a personal journal about different ways of, like, different projects he's working on, different ways to tan leather, like effective ways to get blood out of a carcass to get it prepped, materials that he's tried out. You find that sporadically through. You do find personal notes here and there. You do find this note at the very end talking about you guys. It just says, a trial taker has shown up at my door. Her and her 2 friends seem very weird, but nice. That's all it says.
You're fucking weird.
Inside his drawer, you find a few novels. You find one that seems to be a history of kind of Earth and this territory that throughout different generations, what they've called this land. One of them seems to be not like a romance novel, but it seems to be like a more like interpersonal story. At least like at first glance, it seems to be about.
So it's erotica.
It seems to be a story, like your first glance is that it seems to be about people interacting. It's a story focused about these 2 people, like these 2 main characters who led different lives. They encountered each other in a forest. One was a ranch hand. The other one was an apprentice lumberjack.
I thought you were going to say ranch foot.
And how they disagreed with each other's lifestyles. And like, I mean, how much of this are you reading? It's a decently lengthy novel. It'll take you a few hours to read.
I mean, I would probably just read like the synopsis on the back with the author's photo on it.
Okay.
Who's the author of the book?
Yeah, who's the author?
What's their name?
Is it Darren?
Darren Brightblade.
It's fucking Darren. Is it the same Darren?
No.
Look at all these Darrens.
Look at all these Darrens.
There is no synopsis in the back of the book.
That's fine. I was just joking.
At the
really.
front cover, you do find the name is Hosea Brightleaf.
Okay.
Name doesn't necessarily ring any bells.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna put everything back the way that I found it as much as I possibly can. Yeah, and then I'm gonna go head out and join the rest of the party.
Okay. One thing you guys have noticed when you woke up here in Terralar is that usually there's this natural moisture in the air when you sleep outside or even in a house in a city. There's this dew that still persists. Down here, when you wake up, your lips are a little dried and cracked a little bit more than usual. You can almost like kind of rub that kind of like dead skin feel off of them. There's like a little bit of dirt. It's just kind of feels like you haven't showered in a while, like a little bit faster than normal. But
Sexy.
all right, so you guys make your way down.
Yes.
All right, as you were walking down these concentric circles, going through the city, give me a perception check, everybody.
12.
Gronk got a 10.
So did Zenko.
10 is what you needed.
Okay, cool.
As you're walking down, and you guys aren't terribly familiar with how Terralar works or its usual schedule, but you remember yesterday. You remember, and you're like, and as you're looking around today, the entire place looks empty. As you're passing by, you don't hear any noise. You don't see anybody walking around. You don't see any light other than luminescent mushrooms that clearly already exist in their places. No
Where did
fly.
everybody go?
Shit,
They
man,
must be-
I don't know.
They must be making it clear for the trial. Must
Do you-
be bigger here.
Do you think that everybody's already at the trial?
That could be true as well.
We're late.
Let's get going. I'm sure we're right on time.
All right. As you guys continue on down, it's a little eerie going down, just seeing all these empty houses. The place looks dead and haunted almost as you're going down.
Well, I want to roll to see if it is haunted.
Roll me a belief check.
Oh boy.
15 plus what?
You believe that it's haunted.
Oh, shit. Hey, y'all. Look out. These houses are haunted.
I think they're just empty, Deacon.
Haunted.
As you guys
Haunted?
as you guys continue on down, you get probably about 4 circles up from the bottom, and that's when you notice down in the center, you see 2 parallel lines down in the mushroom field that are glowing,
Shit, it's ghosts.
leading all the way up to the trial door.
Oh, okay. It's not ghosts. Deke was real scared.
That all of Terrellhar was just ghosts.
It was just ghosts. Who knows?
Ah, man, that would have been a good twist.
Maybe it was all ghosts the whole time. Maybe I'm the one with the sixth sense.
All right, so what are you guys doing? You just continue on down?
Yeah, I would say I would
Yeah, let's
just continue going.
As you do get...
I am not afraid.
All right. As you do get about 2 levels up, you can start to make out shapes holding these glowing mushrooms down below. And it looks like almost the entire population, if not the entire population of Terrellhar, is standing in 2 parallel lines, kind of giving you guys a walkway towards the trial door.
Okay.
And, I mean, to give it perspective, this is... Compared to the rest of the cavern, all of these people conjoined, holding up essentially these white torches. They're emanating a lot more light than you've seen pretty much since you're up towards the closer to the top of Terrellhar, where the sunlight spell is constantly going off. Are you approaching straight for the door, or are you going towards this kind of pathway that they're creating for you?
I'll take the pathway. There
Okay.
might be novel staff waiting for me.
All right. Do you 2 approach with her?
Yes.
Yeah, so I would assume Gronk is really feeling this right now. Like everybody in town is there to see them off, so he's really soaking it in and acting very, I guess, like a wrestler would come in to entry music or some shit.
Oh, okay.
He's really getting into it. He's excited.
All right. I mean, you do feel...
He's so excited he's casting Mage Hand to point at people and shit.
Deke pulls out his flute and starts going. That's John Cena's entrance music. Anyway.
um,
I was
as
gonna say in that case, no one can see Gronk.
Fair.
Yeah.
as you guys are approaching, you do feel, I mean, you're guessing probably about 200 sets of eyes on you, watching you guys get to the front of the line. There is no noble staff, but as you approach the first 2, you see not only in one hand do they have these glowing mushroom torches, essentially, they also in their other hand have some form of trowel. And as you step up, the first 2 bow down to the ground, scoop up a tiny bit of earth, step back, and move past y'all towards the center of the room. And then the ones following that do the same. And as you guys choose to progress forward, the entire city is essentially taking a small little patch of dirt with each step and moving it into a giant pile in the middle of the room.
That's interesting.
Neat.
As you guys progress, it only takes probably about a minute and a half to actually walk this entire path. And towards the end, I mean, as you get about halfway through, you see Jordan off on one hand, off on the right-hand side. He kind of gives you this hey.
He's high.
And then digs a little bit.
Gronk's gonna give it right back with all 3 hands.
I forgot about the mage hand.
The mage hand, yeah.
I mean,
Mage hand figured it.
you do see Rumble Kibblebottom about 2/3 of the way down on the left-hand side. And down towards the end, you can see a small silhouette about it as you get about halfway through. You do see the smallish form of Nobblestaff and that just iconic staff that he carries. He just seems to be waiting for you to get to just walking down this aisle. As you approach the end, the final people dip their trowels into the dirt and move away. Nobblestaff addresses the crowd that has come now, that is forming almost a semicircle around you all. Defenders of Terrala! We have here a great hero, Zenko! Do you have a last name?
No, I do not.
Zenko, no surname! She is here to take the trial of the Earthen Lords. Now, she shall ingest the fruits of the earth. And then 2 people come up carrying 3 plates. They each have a plate of mushrooms for you.
Gronk snatches that shit up immediately.
Okay.
Like he's all about it.
I hand 1 plate to each of you.
Zenko carefully accepts the plate, regards the mushrooms.
Deke will take the plate.
Okay. Go ahead and give me perception checks.
14.
Gronk got a 9, or I'm sorry, Gronk got an 18 plus 3, 21.
Oh, nice.
Deke got an 11.
Okay. As you look down, these mushrooms are not red.
What color are they?
Okay.
Just me or everybody?
Everybody.
Okay.
Okay.
And these are not Jordan's mushrooms.
They're not the special mushrooms.
Yeah, these aren't the ones that he was tending to yesterday.
They're more potent, right?
It's mescaline.
You see some yellows and browns primarily. A little bit of black. I mean, they look fairly standard for mushrooms.
Zenko eats the mushrooms.
Okay. Zenko eats the mushrooms. Nobblestaff approaches and now for the sacramental wine, and comes up and
Oh yeah.
steps up to you and kind of asks you to bow down with a hand motion,
Mm-hmm.
and then shoves this wine jug in your mouth.
Woo! You trying to wine and dine me, Sir Nobblestaff?
All right, as you're able to regain your breath and you question, oh. He's kind of turns to both Deacon and Gronk, just waiting for you to eat your mushrooms.
Gronk already ate his.
Oh, I heard you snatch them. I didn't know you already ate
yeah,
them.
no,
Yeah, he comes up and
real quick.
he does the same thing. He beckons you down and
Cool.
sacramental wine.
How many
Deacon?
mushrooms are there on the plate? Is it just like a bunch?
it's not a ton. It's
like a pile of sautéed.
it's like a
mushrooms,
handful.
essentially.
Okay.
They're like simmered and cooked.
All right. Deke's gonna put them in his mouth, but he's gonna hold them under his tongue.
Okay, well, Nobblestaff's coming up with the jug.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's putting the jug up to your mouth.
I drink it, but I still hold them under my tongue.
Okay. Give me a dexterity check.
Not great. It's a 13.
Okay. You manage to keep most of the mushrooms out or still in your mouth, but you do feel a few solid chunks go down.
Oh no! What was in that wine?
Strangely enough, the wine it's very thick. Not quite syrupy necessarily, but
like thick with 2 C's.
get out.
It's dummy thick.
It's dummy thick. This
Sorry.
dummy thick wine.
An anvil falls out of the sky and lands on Deacon's head.
Oh no, Deke is dead.
No, as you're drinking this wine, you get at first it tastes liquid, but then it's followed up by this almost not quite cream texture. It's definitely thicker than a normal beverage. And you notice that the taste is primarily alcohol and then mushroom. Never had mushroom wine before. There's probably a good reason. This texture is not great. You hold back a dry heave. All right. Nobblestaff then turns back to the rest of the people. All right, well, let them get back to their business. Chop, chop, back to work. Then he just starts corralling all the people back. Before he takes off, he turns back towards each of you and hands you each a small brown pouch. He says, "These are the good mushrooms. Use them if you need them." And then he just waits for you guys and is like, "You can take the elevator down now. The trial will begin."
Zenko takes the little sack and fixes it to her belt.
Yeah, Gronk's going to do the same thing.
Same.
Okay.
Thank you. And then she heads toward the entrance.
All right. As you walk under this archway with these ancient, like, druidic and religious symbols just faintly carved in over the arch, you walk underneath, you step towards this elevator. Seems like a fairly sturdy wooden elevator. Get on. Nobblestaff steps up to the lever that's closer towards the front of the entrance. Is, "Good luck, and may the earth embrace you." Hits the lever, and slowly the elevator starts cranking down.
Deke's going to like
Zenko
hold up a hand to
nods.
wave. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Zenko nods as they start to descend.
And Deke's going to put up a hand and wave at him as they go down.
Nobblestaff will wave it and excitingly back.
Is this elevator made of wood by chance?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, and Gronk's going to carve his name into it.
Okay. All right. As you guys are going down this elevator shaft, at first it's moving very slow. Like, it takes you a solid, 15 seconds to lose, eyesight on Nobblestaff. Then as you descend, it starts to pick up pace a little bit, and you're starting to... You feel you're probably moving about, 5 feet a second or so, going down. And silence begins to hit you. As this trip just seems to go on, you figure it might take a minute or two. After about 5, you're like, where's the end of this? Where's the bottom?
Elevator go down the hole.
Well, and once we lose eyesight, Deke's going to spit out whatever mushrooms are in his mouth.
All right. You successfully do so.
So, guys, is this the trial? Like, just going down this elevator? This is really boring.
I don't know.
I really doubt it.
Should we take the mushrooms?
Take what mushrooms?
The mushrooms that he gave us.
No.
I wouldn't do it on the elevator.
I don't know. I feel like it's a trick.
Are you feeling weird?
No?
Zenko, you feeling
Perhaps.
weird?
No.
I'm
Perhaps
not
it's a
feeling
lot
weird.
deeper. Perhaps it's a lot deeper than we expected.
After about 5 minutes of this descent, Deacon, give me a Constitution saving throw.
16 plus 1, 17.
Okay.
This is supposed to help with the pressure.
After about 10 minutes, Gronk and Zenko, you look around the sides of the elevator as you're sitting there listening to just the silence and y'all don't really have anything to talk about at the moment. You're listening to these wheels turn across these occasional
Gronk's
breaks.
got a lot of stuff to talk about.
As the silence goes on, you start to hear this do-do, do-do. You start to kind of bounce your head to it a little bit, like do-do.
It's elevator
Do-do.
music.
And you start to feel like this the occasional scrape of the elevator against the rock is like another instrument. And after about another 5 minutes, it sounds like there's actual music playing to you all in your heads.
I'm going to pull out my violin and start playing along.
Okay. Just messing with your friends as they're tripping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I tripping?
No, you seem fine. You're bored.
I don't hear the doo-doo.
I mean, no, it's the occasional like the pulley systems. Like you occasionally hit like a brake where it has to transfer to the next rope
Yeah.
section.
Oh yeah.
So
So
you
I
hear
just
it
start.
kind of just
Not-
Yeah.
It's not that we're tripping on mushrooms. We're just tripping on the silence and the only sound that there is.
All right, yeah, I play along.
Okay. You notice after about 15 minutes of being on this elevator,
50 or 15?
15.
Oh, thank God.
As you're descending lower and lower, you're pretty sure that this elevator's starting to pick up a lot of speed
Mm-hmm.
to the point where you guys all feel the need to like grab onto the edge.
Even me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna sit on the floor and like hug the rail.
Zenko's just going to sit down, cross-legged on the floor, and brace herself.
Okay.
Gronk's just gonna brace himself. Yeah, sure.
After this descent goes on for realistically probably about 15 to 20 seconds, it feels like a lot longer because you're almost in free fall. All of a sudden, you hear this rumbling above the elevator, and you hear this awful tearing sound. You've never really heard rock tear before, but the two sides above you slam together, and the ropes instantly snap off the elevator, and y'all are now in actual free fall.
Eep!
What?
What do we
What's going on?
do?
Luckily, this doesn't go on for too terribly long. Y'all fall for about 20 seconds, and you'd have no concept of how long this is going to go on before all of a sudden, as this elevator slams into the ground, begins toppling end over end, and then eventually smashing into the ground. Luckily, on some form of the end of a ramp. I want everybody to give me a dexterity saving throw.
Well, so as it started to fall, can I cast Feather Fall?
Sure.
Awesome. So I'm gonna cast it on all of us.
Nice.
Do we still need that dex saving throw?
I can choose up to 5 falling creatures within range.
Okay.
Falling creature's rate of descent slows to 60 feet per round until the spell ends. If the creature lands before the spell ends, it takes no falling damage and can land on its feet, and the spell ends for that creature. So it lasts for 1 minute.
Okay. So, thankfully to some quick thinking on Deacon's end, you all kind of slam into the top portion of the elevator, and then right as the elevator smashes into the ground, you are slowly descended the last few feet, and you land softly on the ground.
Guys, I don't know what I did, but I did it.
Okay. I'll just leave it at that.
I did something.
You did just fine.
Need a pants check from everybody. Make sure they didn't shit
Thanks.
themselves.
Check. That's a con check,
No,
right?
I'm just kidding.
No, Gronk didn't shit himself.
Okay, good.
That's a 12.
Unless those are really good probiotic mushrooms.
So, guys, do you think that it's designed to do that? It just seems a little wasteful to me.
You know
We're
what?
the only ones who did this.
Yeah, I'm sure they can fix it.
Maybe there was too much weight on the elevator.
Gronk.
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing. Never mind.
Are you making a joke at my expense?
Yes.
That's not nice.
Hey, you know what? That's what friends do.
All right, as you guys look at the chamber that you landed in, looking around, you see 3 things primarily. You see, 1, a dripping pool of water off to your left-hand side. It's not a full flow. It's just that drop coming in a cave that eventually will form a stalactite.
Nice.
That old man constipated. Doop. Doop.
Dude,
Yep.
I want to get involved.
Down the length of the hallway that is apparently the only exit, you do see candles popping up on both sides. It seems to be lighting your way. As you guys walk down this hallway, the candles continue on for probably about 75 feet. Probably about every 5 to 10 feet, there's another candle. Then it goes to 15 feet, then 50 feet, and then the candles just stop altogether.
Ooh.
You all have dark vision. You can continue on as you progress down this hallway. Say about for another 100 feet. I would like everybody to give me perception checks.
21.
Oof. 7.
Okay.
Well, good thing it's not your trial.
22.
22. Okay. All right, as you are walking down this hallway, Zenko and Deacon, you notice this small brown head pop out of the wall, followed by like a little gremlin-style impish body. And
Hey there, little buddy.
it looks towards your group,
Mm-mm.
and then its mouth seems to just widen, kind of like those spitting dinosaurs. It kind of like fans out a little bit, and then like its mouth widens to extreme proportions, and then it spews out a bunch of mud and dust and dirt at you.
Gross.
No.
Everybody give me dexterity saving throws. Gronk with disadvantage.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. I can't even make that up.
20 hype.
So Gronk got a
Ugh.
16.
Okay.
Oddly enough, they were both the exact same roll.
Nobody is blinded, and I'd like everybody to roll
Yay.
initiative.
Awesome.
Natural 20.
2020.
9.
12.
All right, Gronk, you go first.
So how far away is this thing?
Looks to be about 15 feet away. Like it just popped its head out, and then its body followed, and it was very close to you. It just kind of popped out of the wall.
I'm going to go ahead. Cast magic missile.
Okay, go ahead and roll your damage then.
10 damage.
That was adding +1 to each.
Yep.
All right, cool. 10 damage as these 3 arcane bolts shoot out of your hand, just strike this. It looks like if you made a devil out of a dust storm. It's constantly billowing like sand off of it. It's got like a long hooked nose, these weird like bat-like wings, but they're made out of like dirt and sand and rock.
Okay.
As these 3 bolts come out and just that brings us to its turn though. Does it get its does not get its breath weapon back. Frustrated, it's going to rush towards you, Gronk. It's going to make a swipe with its claws.
Bring it.
It's a dirty 20 to hit
Oof.
for 4 damage. Its claw comes swiping across, manages to kind of like get underneath your armor a little bit, and it's like almost like sand exudes from it and like cuts a little bit deeper and makes these like tiny claws hurt a little bit more. Out of the top of the hallway, you all notice like this orange glow and like the room's getting a little bit hotter, and a similar looking creature, but this one seems to be made out of like molten rock, pops its head out from the top and looks at you all and snarls just but unfortunately that's its turn.
Unfortunately for who?
For me. Deacon, you're up.
I'm going to cast Fairy Fire.
Fairy fire.
Yeah. So I'm going to cast it on that one. And so everybody has advantage. But it also,
What's an AoE?
So can he get both of them?
Yes.
Okay.
it's a dex save. They got to beat a 14.
They do beat a 14, yes.
Come
The one on the roof did. The kind of magma lava looking one did. And the other one failed, actually.
Nice.
Modified 11.
So everybody gets advantage on that one.
Yes. Brings us to Zenko. You're up.
Zenko's gonna how far away is the magma one?
About 15 feet.
Zenko's gonna cast Sacred Flame at that one.
Okie dokie, go for it. Or it's a dexterity saving
a-
throw.
Yep, it's gonna beat a 13.
Natural 3.
Ha-ha!
Roll that damage.
Alright. 3.
3 damage? Okay.
Yeah.
3 Sacred Flame hits it. Seems to take full effect, just doesn't seem to hurt it too bad. Gronk, you're up.
Gronk is going to swing his sword at the mud, rock, earth creature thing.
Okay.
It's a 20.
20 definitely hits.
Not natural, but it is modified.
All right, go for it. Roll your damage.
That's max damage.
And that would be...
That is 17. No, I'm not 17. What am I thinking? 15. Sorry.
Okay. All right. As your sword comes across, it throws up its arms as if to try and block it, and your sword just cuts through it like it was going through just this pile of flour almost, and cuts through its body, and you just hear this as an explosion of dirt and sand comes out of it.
Gross.
I'm going to say, Gronk, you're the only one within 5 feet. I need a Constitution saving throw.
15.
15? All right. As this just explosion of dirt and sand comes up towards you, you feel it kind of get in your eyes for a second, but you manage to blink it away, and you can still see around the battlefield. You're not blinded.
Nice.
Brings us to the lava one. Seeing these two casting spells... Technically, you had advantage on that. You killed it.
Yeah.
The one coming out of the ceiling is going to look at you two casters, and its mouth is going to do something similar, just like kind of overextend, and you see this molten hot rock inside of it, and it spews it forth towards Deacon and Zenko. I need dexterity saving throws.
Not great. 11.
I rolled a 6.
All right, Zenko, you failed, unfortunately. So you take full damage. That is 8 damage, fire damage. And then, Deacon, you take half that. So 4.
No, I don't.
Oh, no?
Yeah, I do.
Where's that anvil I was calling out? That will bring us to Deacon, though. You are next up.
It's just the one left, right?
As far as you can tell.
I am going to cast Vicious Mockery. And I'm gonna look at him and I'm gonna be like, you ain't nothing but a big fiery turd after too many tacos and curry.
Okay. Strangely enough, the lava creature kind of half ducking out of the roof looks at you and just looks offended and
Did it beat a 4? Did it? It's a 14 save.
it was a natural 5.
Awesome. All right, so it takes 1d4 psychic damage.
Okay.
4.
Hey, 4 damage.
It takes 4 damage.
Okay.
Woo.
That will bring us up to Zenko.
Oh, and
sorry.
just so everybody knows, it has disadvantage on its next attack roll
That's correct.
until the end of its next turn.
Yay.
All right, Zenko, you were up.
I am going to hit it with Guiding Bolt.
All right, roll it.
Does an 11 hit?
An 11 does hit, actually.
Oh, sweet.
Okay, roll that damage.
That would be lucky 13, sir.
13. Okay. Claim your kill. How do you want to do this?
Hell yeah.
That straight up bolt of light, just zap it into nothing. It's just going to explode into little bits of fire and magma.
As Zenko shoots this guiding bolt up into this weird magma creature hanging from the ceiling, her guiding bolt shoots into it and seems to almost go inside of it. And as its body naturally begins to explode, the light that would usually coat it seems to mix in with the magma that explodes all around.
Yes.
Luckily for you guys, none of y'all are within 5 feet, so nobody has to try and dodge it.
Uh-huh.
Hell yeah.
I am going to, at this point, though, require everybody to give me a Constitution saving throw.
That is a 7.
Okay.
16 for Deke.
All right.
That's a 14 for Zenko.
All right. As you guys wrap up this fairly brief battle, you're sitting there trying to get over the excitement of battle and try and catch your breath. And eventually Zenko and Deacon, you do, like, you kind of get back to what feels normal, but it's like the air is a little bit thinner. Gronk, it just feels like you just can't get your breath completely all the way back.
It's like real life.
You take 1 point of exhaustion, and you realize that the air down here is probably running out.
Has anyone taken damage other than me?
I took 4.
Okay. I'll cast Healing Word on you.
Okay, I mean, you don't have to.
I mean, Gronk took 4 as well, but
I'll just cast Healing Word on myself then.
Gronk's gonna reach into the sack
Gross.
and take out a mushroom and pop it in his mouth and see what that does.
Okay. I'm gonna say if you just pop in 1 mushroom, you get 1 hit point back. You notice that after you've taken it, you're not sure if it's because you just didn't have anything liquid to really go down with it, or wasn't cooked. It's a raw mushroom, but your mouth feels a little cotton mouthy. Nothing too bad. Like, you're not super dehydrated or anything, but it does have a little bit of a cotton mouthy feel after you've swallowed it.
Okay.
All right, you 3, you have defeated these 2 strange creatures in the tunnel. Seems like your air is beginning to run out. What do you choose to do?
I'm gonna wait.
For what?
No, that didn't work. Gronk already put ate one of those mushrooms, and it didn't do anything.
Well, it healed me 1 HP.
Yeah. In the mushroom bag, Zenko's gonna check the bag. Are there like different types of mushrooms in there, or is it one kind?
It's one kind. It is those red mushrooms that Jordan was farming, the medicinal ones, and there are 5 in each of your bags except for Gronk's that now has 4.
All right. Zenko's gonna pop a mushroom.
Okay. Get 1 hit point back.
Sure. And is going to suggest to the group that we press on quickly.
Hell yeah, let's go.
All right. As you guys continue on down this tunnel, it's still completely dark. There is no fire. There's no water. The air is, you're losing it. The tunnel begins to descend on a moderate ramp, nothing too dangerous. It eventually levels out. And then I want everybody to give me perception checks.
That is a natural 20.
Oh, snap. Not 20.
Woo.
16 for Deke.
22 for Zenko.
Okay. Everybody succeeds. Gronk, you hear it way before everybody else. Similar to that tearing sound when the elevator, like the rocks did, like crushed the elevator above you, the ropes. That rock tearing sound. You hear it off in the distance, followed by a boom. Boom. And it sounds like it's tearing, sliding, crashing. Tearing, sliding, crashing. Whatever this noise is.
I mean, you guys hear that, right?
Yes, it sounds delightful.
No, it does not sound delightful. B, yes, I do hear it. And C, we need to cheese it.
The sound like it sounds like it's coming from in front of you.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
We need to figure out what that is.
Let's just be prepared for battle.
Yeah, Gronk's gonna have his sword at ready.
All right, as you guys manage to move forward a few more feet, then the tunnel turns right, and these tearing noises and pounds. You start to hear more than one. And as you progress farther and farther, you hear it's a cacophony of them. It's just and as you finally get to the source of the noise, you see these round pillars and columns. Those would be going up and down. You see them going up and down and horizontally, slamming into the side. 5 feet in front of that, taking up half the hallway, is another circular pillar, slamming up into the ceiling. and you can see these pillars just shooting in almost every direction across the tunnel ahead of you.
Can I
Oh,
do it?
yay.
I was going to ask, can I do an investigation check to see if there's some sort of lever to turn it off?
Go ahead and give me an investigation check, sure.
I was thinking the same thing.
Nice.
lever
Sure,
or
go for it.
button.
I got it 6.
Natural 20.
Okay.
Better be good, bitch.
Uh,
I mean, almighty DM, whom I love and adore and respect.
It's just coming in hot.
All right, Deacon, you, as you're trying to find this plate or a lever or something to disarm them, you almost get hit by the first pillar. Zenko, as you're looking around, you notice that there's nothing in the front on your. Excuse me. You notice that there's nothing in the front on your side, and you keep looking a little bit farther, and you just see at the end of these. It's about 50 feet of these smashing pillars. You do see a button on the far end.
Okay, so there's a button on the far end.
I'm going to go
Who's,
get it.
Who is agile?
That would be me.
All right, Deacon, you gonna give this a shot?
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and give me an acrobatics check.
15?
All right, 15. As you kind of pause there for a second. You're waiting for these pillars, trying to find the right time to jump in. You manage to dive forward over the first one just as the pillar is starting to come up. You know that the second one, it's going to be a pillar coming from the side. It nearly clips you in the head. You fall to the ground. You manage to roll forward as another upward pillar comes up. And then you remember, the first one that comes in at a diagonal is coming next. You manage to roll to the side. You know that this is a safe spot. You're about halfway through.
Okay. And then I want to wait and figure out the timing of the next one, of the next pillars.
Okay, go ahead and give me a general wisdom check.
That's a 6.
You're not positive, but you think you've got this.
Okay. So I guess I go forward on it, don't I?
Give me an acrobatics check.
That's a 13.
Okay, 13. As you're jumping through, this one's a little bit different, this section, but it's incorporating the same aspects of the prior one. And you manage to hop over a low horizontal beam as it plunges through. Narrowly gets swiped by one coming down directly from the center. You have to lean against the wall. You manage to duck down to the next one just underneath another diagonal one. And as you dive forward to get towards the button, there's one final pillar that slams upward. It manages to clip your leg. And you take
God damn.
6 points of damage.
Okay, so is there a rock or a pebble or something that Gronk can throw?
Absolutely.
Okay, Gronk's going to try to throw it at the button.
Go for it.
What would I add to this?
Dexterity.
God damn it. All right, that's 11.
Impressively, you actually do manage to get it about halfway through before you weren't really sure on when the pillar was going to be heading that direction, and it just manages to crush that pebble into the side of one of the pillars, crushes that pebble into the side of the wall. Comes away, it just looks like dust.
No, that one was a bad one. That was a warm-up. I'm going to try it again.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so while oh wait, never mind.
Oh, that's even worse.
So while Gronk is fumbling around with rocks, Zenko's gonna pull out her crossbow and aim it at the button and shoot.
Okay, go for it.
5 does not hit. I know that for sure.
Unfortunately, no. It manages to, one of the pillars shoots up towards the middle of the room, and then your arrow kind of just bounces off.
Ah.
But I'm basically there, right?
Yeah, after you managed to you got clipped by the final pillar. You're at the end. I figured they were doing this while you were doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna lean on I'm gonna in my pain, I'm gonna lean on the lever.
Okay. You just kind of rest your back against the wall. You press the button, and all the pillars seem to just recede back into the walls.
And then I'm gonna cast a healing word on myself at second level. Just 2d4 plus 4.
Go for it.
And I'm going to go, oh, shit. Hope I get well soon. And that is 10. I get 10.
All right, you guys are currently at opposing sides of this.
Gronk's gonna make his way across.
Okay, Gronk, go ahead and give me. No, you walk fine.
Okay.
Zenko's going to walk through.
All right. As you are making your way through,
Making our way downtown.
Thank you, Deacon.
Yeah, it's no problem. I got well
How you
soon.
feeling? Okay.
I got well soon. I actually feel 100%.
all right. As you guys continue on down, the ramp starts to. It had leveled off for that kind of pillar room, or the pillar section. It is descending much steeper now. A little bit steeper than like 45-degree angle. As you're making your way down. As you guys are descending down this ramp, it doesn't seem to deviate left or right. Doesn't seem to be changing too much. Gronk, give me a perception check.
That is a 17.
Okay. As you are walking down this ramp, probably about 150, 200 feet past this column room, you start to notice a familiar smell. And it kind of reminds you of your dad.
Gross.
It's like a burnt, almost sulfury smell. And you start looking around the room,
Dad?
and you notice that there's like a fine, dark powder that seems to be starting to coat the cavern the deeper you're going.
Okay, would I recognize this as something that like alchemists would use?
But Gronk, yes, you notice that this is saltpeter, one of the primary ingredients in gunpowder.
Okay. What else is around? Like,
It's just the cavern. It just seems like as you're progressing farther and down, like this dust seems to be becoming more and more. There's more of it, and then it almost seems like it's starting to blend into the cavern itself.
guys, I don't really like this a whole lot. This
You
is
guys
not
can go back if you like.
this is not like stable.
We must tread lightly.
Yeah, I mean,
Again, if you guys need to turn back, I would not dislike you for it. I would actually not blame you, but I must press on.
yeah, no, I'm with you.
No, I'm with you.
Thank you. Let's tread lightly, but we must press on.
Not too far after this conversation, you get probably about another 20, 30 feet. And up above in this tunnel, you start to hear and it sounds like there's a ball rumbling around in a giant cavern, like in this giant cavern bouncing its way down towards you.
Oh, great.
Everybody go ahead and give me dexterity saving throws.
Woohoo!
Not great. That's a 10 for Gronk.
It's a dirty 18.
16 for Deacon.
And Gronk, what was yours?
10.
10? Okay. And as these noise just and you hear it kind of rumbling towards you, you actually notice that it's two distinct noises bouncing down this ramp as two fairly large rock orbs, essentially earth balls, just roll down. Yeah, I said it.
Earth balls.
Elemental testes.
More like Father Earth, am I right?
Hey. All right. And one manages to nearly clip Deacon and bounces off.
Ah, shit.
Another one managed to clip you in the leg, Gronk. You take 6 points of damage.
Yikes.
Do I take damage?
No, it manages to it just hits the wall next to you, bounces off, hits the other side of the wall, and then continues bouncing down. Just after those two, though, you start to hear, and it sounds like that noise only like 10 times over. And
We got to get out of here.
Shit, cheese it. So I'm gonna run.
Okay, you run.
Like, do we see any openings or anything within this?
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Probably not. That is a 12.
Looks like cavern. You don't see any place that looks like it's really safe, like any outcroppings jumping out. You guys booking it?
I was just gonna run to the other side and see what I see. I mean, how big is this thing?
The cavern or like the tunnel you're in?
Yeah.
It's about 15, 20 feet wide.
And I mean, you said we went into it like a cavern, no?
No, I'm describing it like the entire thing is tunnel-esque, cavern-esque. Like you're
Okay. Yeah.
so far you haven't come into very many like large openings.
Nice. I'm just gonna run.
Okay.
So
Run toward an opening. We should run toward an opening.
Just keep running. I mean, it's pretty linear. So
did we see where the other two earth balls came out?
No, it was out of your dark vision, and they came down the ramp towards you guys, and then just kept continuing on past you.
Okay, but I guess there's an opening at the end, right?
There's more tunnel ahead of you.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Where we're going.
That's
Yeah, there's
just push forward, I guess.
Okay. As you guys book it, I'm gonna go ahead and say, you guys make it about another 50 feet. Gronk, give me a perception check, and everybody give me dexterity saving throws.
That's not good. That was a 6.
My dex saving throw is a 7.
21 for Deke.
Okay. Gronk, your dex saving throw?
6.
6? Oh, what was your perception?
Death saving
Oh, you
throw?
didn't ask for.
Yeah.
No.
actually,
Okay,
yeah.
so the perception was 6.
Okay.
My dex is a 15.
All right. Zenko, you rolled a 7?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
2 damage as another pair of boulders comes down. You can hear them coming farther and farther. Gronk, you noticed.
Oof.
You think that the saltpeter's gone.
Okay.
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 All right.
Yeah.
You guys continue running?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, what else are we gonna do? Turn around and go back? No.
I mean,
No.
Y'all continue running?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
For now.
All right.
Yeah.
You continue going on. You make it about another 50 feet. I'm going to need another set of dex saving throws from everybody.
Gronk got a 17.
18.
It's 12 for Deke.
Deke, you take 1 point of damage. One of them barely manages to kind of squish your pinky toe a little bit. It's something you guys notice right as pretty much you've noticed that some of these balls, like the noise stopped. It seems like the more you've run, maybe some of these stones are smashing against the wall too many times and breaking apart, or just losing their momentum. So towards the end, there's a grand total of about 15 of these giant stone balls stuck in a giant puddle of mud ahead of you.
Zenko hates it.
Shit. Like, do they make like a path across the mud?
Not particularly. Like you could probably step on them for a good 10 feet. It's a little difficult to tell.
But then I would just be in mud.
Yeah. It's right around this time when you guys are just escaped this kind of semi, archaeologist trap.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to need everybody to make a constitution saving throw as the air is starting to get very, very thin.
Oh, natural 20 for Gronk.
Hey, Gronk doesn't get another point.
That's a 3 for Deke.
Oh, Deacon, you've got 1 point of
Ooh,
exhaustion.
15 for Zenko.
Zenko, you are doing okay. You're feeling okay in your trial.
Yay.
Unfortunately, ahead of you, you've got kind of a mud puddle stretch in this cavern.
Okay, does it seem passable at all?
Uh,
Or does it seem like we need to go back?
these stone orbs that came down that are roughly about 1.5 to maybe 2 feet, they seem to be sticking out of this mud by an inch or an inch to 5 inches, depending.
Okay, I want to do a thing.
Okay.
Because you said it's a stone orb.
Yes.
They're orbs. They're not just like rocks. They're orbs.
They're balls, but every time I say balls, you guys start chuckling.
Oh no.
That's so good. All
They're
right.
spheres.
I want to
Stone
jump.
spheres.
I want to jump out on one of these stone orbs, and I'm gonna see if I can, like, log roll, like, try to walk it forward.
Okay.
Does that work?
Give me
I'll give it all to you.
an acrobatics or an athletics check. Take your pick. In a bad way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's my best case scenario. I got a 6.
Whee!
I just fall in the mud, don't I?
Yeah, you like as you're kind of like trying to log roll it in, your foot steps off and it goes up to about your knee.
Oh, so it's not that bad.
Well,
No,
I
like
was
I
just
said, they're
about
about
to
a
test
foot and a
it.
half to
Thank
2
you for
feet.
testing it for me, Deke.
Ain't no problem. I'm a guinea pig.
So
Zenko makes to go help Deacon up and starts to step across the mud puddle.
Okay. As you start stepping through this mud puddle, you are going to be moving at half speed.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Well,
want to,
yeah, it's
yeah,
thick
it's
mud.
difficult terrain.
Oh, no, I'm not affected by difficult terrain.
Oh yeah,
No, I
cool.
just made that up.
I know.
I'm not a ranger.
so how many of these stones are in the mud?
About 15.
And how big are they?
About 1.5 to 2 feet in diameter. So Zenko, you're going through?
Yep.
Okay. Let me check something real quick.
Oh, wait. So these balls were coming from behind us.
Yeah. They were coming down the ramp.
I was just thinking of us going up the ramp. I'm so dumb.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah. What I totally should have just done is a baseball slide all the way down into the mud.
It's like
That-
someone or something like sent them down after us. But no, seriously, I was picturing them coming at us from the way we were walking.
All right. So Zenko, as you make your way through the mud, you get about 15, 20 feet.
Mhm.
It's kind of rough going, but nothing seems to have happened so far. Anybody else doing anything?
I'm just going to keep going.
Okay.
Just-
Don't seem to have any issues. I mean, it's a slog, literally.
Well,
Lock.
Gronk's gonna, because Gronk hasn't gotten in the mud yet,
Right.
so he's gonna look around and see what else he can find. Like, is there any ledge or is there another path?
Give me a perception check.
22.
22. It's very difficult to see, but you do manage to find a very fine handhold that you can kind of grip your fingers to. You can't keep your feet out of the mud, but you can kind of shimmy your way across the wall, and like just your toes will be dipping into it, pretty much.
Okay, I do that.
Some real
Okay.
American Ninja Warrior shit right
Yeah.
there.
Go ahead and give me an athletics check.
That is a dirty 20.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Gronk, you managed to make it. It's still slow, but you feel safer for sure. And you get about you can finally start to see the end of it, of this like weird mud pit, and you think you can maybe get there at the end of next round.
Okay.
Doing what you're doing.
Okay.
The other two, y'all are about 2/3 as far as Gronk is.
Hey guys, look at me go.
Oh, well done.
You're doing great.
So enthusiastic, Deacon. All right, Zenko, go ahead and go next. What would you like to do?
Oh, am I out of the mud yet?
No, you're about a third of the way through.
Okay. And I need a refresher. How did Gronk get across?
With a very high perception check, he managed to find like a finger's width kind of handrail that he's American Ninja warrioring. Whatever.
You got it.
You did it. You did it.
He's a ninja at the moment, just kind of going across the stone wall.
Oh, cool. Well, how much farther is this mud?
It's about another 40 feet.
Okay, so I'm just gonna settle over to that area where Gronk is and follow suit, because fuck this.
Okay. As you were making your way towards Gronk, all of a sudden the ground underneath you seems to give way.
Oh no!
And you sink in, and you're right up to about neck level in mud.
Ew.
Are you fucking never-ending storying us? Because this is not going to happen for me.
I'm going to throw her a rope.
Okay. You go ahead and toss her a rope.
Zenko's going to grab the rope.
All right, as Zenko's arm comes kind of like separates from the rest of the mud, she manages to grab onto the rope. Go ahead and give me an athletics check, Deacon.
Great. That's a 9.
You managed to pull her a little bit. You managed to get like about her torso up out of the mud.
Okay. Can I throw the other end of it to Gronk?
Sure.
Because he's like super strong, and he could probably pull the two of us out of.
I mean, if you'd like to throw it, go ahead.
All right, I want to throw it.
Okay.
Gronk, catch this.
Catch what?
This rope, catch it. I'm gonna whip it over at him. What do I got to roll for that? Is that a dex?
D20 plus your dex, yeah.
Hell yeah, that's a 23.
Okay. What are you doing?
He's like gonna get his legs like shoulder width apart and like kind of squat down a little bit to try to catch it.
Okay, you're hanging by your fingers on the edge of the pit at the moment.
Oh, I thought
you're about halfway through.
Oh, well.
And then Zenko fell in going like, fuck this.
Okay, well.
That's why I'm curious is like, are you just going to let the rope bonk you? Or are you going to try and grab it? Are you...
I'm going to try to grab it. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and give me a dexterity check.
That is an 18.
Okay, you have managed to grab the rope and somehow still hanging on with one hand.
I'm going to like wrap it around my arm that I caught it with a couple times.
Okay.
And try to like make sure that it's secure and not going to go anywhere.
All right.
And then I'm going to continue like moving towards
the other end.
The other end. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and give me another athletics check.
That is a 16.
Okay, you managed to get about you get it almost to the end. You have about 10 feet left. And all of a sudden, your fingers start to lose a little bit of their strength, and you're just like, I got to make it these 10 feet. Just got to get there. And all of a sudden, the rope goes taut, because it's 50 feet of rope, not 60. Yeah. And it kind of snags you off, and you're not able to manage, and you fall about 10 feet away from the far edge. But you are now in the mud.
Okay. I'm going to start, like, pulling them in.
Okay. Go ahead and we'll say, for expediency's sake, I mean these are pitfalls within here, literal, and they're there to slow you down and ruin, like, kind of drain your breath. But at this point, it's just a dragging game, so we don't need to roll that out.
You pull us.
Yeah, you manage to over time. You pull out Deacon first, or he gets to there first, and then pulling Zenko out after that is much easier.
Because I'm helping.
Yes.
Even though my athletics is low, I help.
All right. As you guys exit this mud bath, drenched, caked in dirt and mud.
Miserable.
Probably.
Is it cold?
No, the air in here is fairly warm. It's also very stagnant.
No, I meant like the mud.
The mud itself isn't too, like, the temperature of it is about the same. But about 30 feet ahead of you, you do see a double door made out of stone.
Hell yeah.
Zenko approaches the double door.
Gronk's gonna look around. Is there anything else other than the doors?
Looking above the arch, you see a similar kind of religious druidic pattern that was over the mine shaft entrance.
Would that be a language of any kind that I would recognize or anything? Or is it just symbols?
It's a mixture of religious symbols kind of mixed in with druidic, which you would not have access to. It's a lot of symbolism. I mean, there is like trees, sun, moon, grass. One looks like it might actually be a religious symbol for a god.
Okay.
Oh, never
Zenko
mind.
gently touches the door.
As your hand presses against the rock, the seam in the middle splits apart, and you hear the rumbling as the doors open inward.
Nice.
And finally, you see a giant cavern in front of you. There's actually a blast of oxygen that fills y'all's lungs.
That's the good stuff.
I feel better.
The air's still stale, but at least this air doesn't seem like it's been used like the air that y'all have been taking in.
Nobody farts in here.
Looking around the room, the only thing you can really see is you can't see the ceiling, can't see the far end. You see the walls around you start curving outwards. You lose them after 60 feet. And towards the center of the room, you start to see like what looks like a tiny slope just at the edge of your dark vision.
Press on.
Keep
Okay.
going.
All right. As you move forward into the room, you start to lose sight of the walls a little bit, and you see this mound forming in front of you. The mound itself is about 15 feet from left to right. You're not sure how deep at this point. As you approach, you get about 20, 25 feet away from the mound. Two giant yellow lights seem to open up from this mound.
Oh, those are eyes.
And then a big split farther down, and you hear this room that seems to almost fill this ginormous chamber. Who has come for the trial of the Earth Lords?
It is I, Zenko, daughter of Menzo.
Zenko, move into my eyesight.
Zenko approaches, respectfully and carefully.
Tell me, Zenko, why should you receive Earth's power?
Collects her thoughts. I wish to maintain balance upon the earth and all who live upon it, to protect the innocent and to heal the sick.
You seek the bounty of more than just Earth, but all the elements.
Yes.
Very well. Where does the strength in Earth lie?
The strength of earth lies in the foundation, in stability, and instability, in balance, in order and chaos, in creation and destruction.
Very well. What must always be? Where everything begins and where everything ends?
The earth. We come from the earth and we return to the earth.
Very well, mortal child. Let us see if you deserve our power.
Zenko bows slightly.
Deke also bows.
And at that moment, there's that similar tearing noise, but it's much quieter. But that is kind of a negative of what's going on in front of you with your eyes. As you see this mound, it seems like a giant head popping out of the ground. And then an arm pops up about 10 feet in diameter out of the ground, and a fist grips the ground. On the other side, another arm. And you see a huge rock shape coming out of the ground, 10 feet at first, then 15,
Wow.
20. And you see the lower end of its torso coming out. And then
Zenko maintains eye contact, looking up as he grows.
it seems to be gliding out of the earth, 25, 30 feet tall, as it's this squat, boulder-like figure with 4 huge arms and 2 squat legs, looks at you and says, "It's time." And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Yay!
All right.
That's cool.
Hey, thanks for listening, everybody. If you want to join in the conversation and you want to throw out some conspiracy theories and some ideas of where the game is going, feel free to check us out at TMaTAcast across all social media. And if you would like to be included as an NPC in our game, then go ahead and tweet out using the hashtag TMaTAcast.
See ya, TMaTA.
On the Story Song Podcast, we closely examine the story of famous story songs.
We'll walk you through the lyrics you've heard 1,000 times, but have never thought about.
Leave it to us because we overthink everything.
Spread the word around. Guess who's back in town? Why is this my job? Why is this on me now?
I didn't even like those guys.
We discuss the history of the story songs you love. Show of hands. Who here knew that Rick Springfield was Australian?
No clue.
The Wikipedia article started with, "You guys, you're not going to believe this."
The Story Song Podcast. Find it wherever you get your podcasts.
Forge Audio.
Dream it.
Build it.
Share it.